far away, there lived a princess. No, wait. There lived an ogre. Yeah. No, there lived a magic doll. Or maybe it was a leprechaun. Maybe it was a brother and a sister lost in the woods. Are these stories not your taste? What about a wisecracking dragon that pals around with blind mice and a dancing gingerbread man? Maybe you like rogue lions out playing in elephant graveyards. Maybe you like when the mighty ducks get into their flying V. No matter which story sets your fancy ablaze, you have now entered the enchanted world of fairy tales. So with that being said, welcome to Fairy Tales, from Grimm's to Disney. But first, let's pause for a word from our sponsors. Today's sponsor is Tony Teaches You to Read Tutoring Services. At Tony's, we know how important reading is to you. So all we do is teach how to read. What you read is solely up to you. If you want to read Mother Goose, that's fine. If steamy romance novels are your thing, great. Tony's will teach you how to read. Visit TonyTeachesReading.com for more details. Now, back to class. Course objectives. Welcome to Fairy Tales, from Grimm to Disney. This class seeks to let you into the world of fairy tales so that you may learn their origins, forms, meanings, and their relevancy. As a child, you just enjoyed these stories. But did you know that fairy tales are more than just nighttime fables? Throughout this course, we will explore where fairy tales come from and answer questions like, what societal value do these tales impart on its readers? Do fairy tales still impact your life today? We will also explore the ties between Grimm's tales and the stories that Disney and its contemporaries produce today. Does The Lion King share anything with Rapunzel? Is Rocky Balboa the same type of underdog as Cinderella? Do these stories still entertain, or do they simply bore their readers and listeners? This class will also focus on the structure of fairy tales. Are they just random stories to be told, or is there a set structure to the genre that lends itself to maximum impact? What is it about these stories that we've allowed them to survive for so long? We want to explore the mediums used to convey these tales and how this intersection moves the genre forward. Assessments, requirements, and evaluation. Your grade will be determined by how you perform in class. Tests, which will account for 30%, will test your knowledge of facts, concepts, and scholarly positions related to what you've read. Projects and papers, 15% and 40% of your grade respectively, will center around the originality of hypothesis, the effectiveness of the work, and the clarity of understanding. The final assignment, 15% of your grade, will display your grasp of the material, including plots, names, dates, and terms. This will be the best time for you to show your depth of comprehension of the fairy tales. Course content and class schedule. We will be studying Snow White, Cinderella, Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and many more. We will dig into where the stories originated, who wrote them, and how they made it into the hands of the Brothers Grimm, as well as ours today. This class is divided into 15 weeks. There will be a test in weeks 4, 7, 9, and 13. Week 6, you will write a creative paper, and scholarly papers are due in weeks 7 and 12. Spring break falls between weeks 9 and 10, and in week 10, we will return to meet in the Rubenstein Library on the West Campus. In week 14, your group project is due, and we will have presentations both week 14 and 15. The other weeks, we will dive into different tales across the fairy tale spectrum. We will take a walk into the topic of the week. And now an excerpt from The Frog King. In the old times, when it was still of some use to wish for the one thing one wanted, there lived a king whose daughters were all handsome. But the youngest was so beautiful that the sun himself, who had seen so much, wondered each time he shone over her because of her beauty. Near the royal castle, there was a great dark wood, and in the wood under the old linden tree was a well. And when the day was hot, the king's daughter used to go back and forth into the wood and sit by the brink of the cool well. And if the time seemed long, she would take out a golden ball and throw it up and catch it again. This was her favorite pastime.